Hey everybody, welcome back to Building SouthLake. So basically, last part we worked on some of the highway, I believe, if I remember correctly. We worked on this highway here, and see, I basically got one side done, but not the other. And there's a couple things I'm trying to figure out at the moment, but I'm not sure like what I'm gonna do yet, because it'll take some time. But yeah, basically this is what I have so far. One of the designs I'm thinking about doing is having this highway come up and over. But at the same time, I kind of want to have this highway end and continue to this one, like have the off and on ramps just leading to this one only. So still a lot to figure out there, and a couple designs. A couple new buildings have sprung up over the past week. We have this one here, which isn't finished. We will finish that one up in a video. We are not going to be working on this one today. Let's see. There is one more building that I started working on that is not finished yet, and this one is here. Basically right next to the highway. It's a pretty big building. It's one of the it's not the tallest building, but it's actually one of the bigger buildings. When it comes to how it looks, the scale of it actually feels realistic in proportion to your actual player. So I'm pretty happy with that. But what we're working on today is something I've been wanting to work on for a very long time. We're actually starting to work on the park, and the park is going to be right here. So I'm actually getting this original design from a server I played on. It's a city server, and they're called Huntington is their city name. They actually have two cities, but you know, I'm actually using kind of the same design, but I'm going to add my own twist to it. And I was actually going back to the server today to look at it, but they got rid of it. So I'm basically going off, you know, my memory here. So basically, we're going to see how this will turn out, I think, and hopefully it will turn out pretty well. So now, I basically already started to see like how it would look, and so far we're looking pretty good. As you can tell, it's actually quite big already. Hopefully we're going to have enough room. I'm really hoping. It looks like we will, but, you know, just in case. So, we just need to make this circle here over on the other side. So, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So, I got to go over there. So, I need a 2. There's probably going to be a lot of me counting in this video just to make sure I get everything correct. So, if that is going to bug you guys, you might not like this video. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, the park is something I've wanted to work on for quite a long time now, but I've never really had the spot I needed to make it. And then when I was, you know, building some roads today, I thought, you know what, this would be a really good area for it. So I came up with this plot, and now we're starting it. So basically just trying to see how everything goes. So I need to make sure we're all lined up. It looks like we are perfect. So we need 2, 1, 2. Okay. So 2, 1, 2, right? Is that how it's supposed to look? 2, 1, 2. Alright, I think I'm starting to get this right. It's basically once I get one side done, I can get the other. So then it's just 1, 2, 3. Okay. So basically that's all I need to know. And now we just 1, 2, 3. And doop doop. And doop doop. Yeah, hopefully this is going to turn into a nice looking park. I mean, it's not just going to be these circles. There's going to be more to it. Hi, Jax. Better not turn off my TV, butthead. 1, 2. So then 1, 2. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the park is something I've wanted to work on for such a long time. But like I said, I never really had the space to do it. And I've been thinking about a couple more things. You know, like what I want to actually start doing and putting in the city. And one of the things I came up with was I'm going to add the Capitol. Now, real quick, we're going to stray away from this. I'm thinking about making the Capitol, because the Capitol, it needs to be a pretty long building for how I want to make it. And right here looks like we have enough space. So I actually might make the Capitol right around here. And like basically the back would be facing the highway, but the front would be facing like towards like all this over here. You know, it's just something I thought about doing. Not sure if it would actually work. You know, we'll have to see how everything actually turns out. But hopefully, you know, like I said, hopefully that will work. Then we need 4. Okay. I'm actually really excited to get this done. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm starting to get back into that mood of building the city. I've been in that mood lately towards like, you know what? I don't really want to build. It's more just like, I don't really want to, you know? You have to be in that mood sometimes in order to, like, for yourself to be able to build and, you know, do it on a steady basis. And for a while there, I wasn't in the mood to, you know, add on to the city, but I still made the videos because I do want to keep expanding the city, even if I don't want to. And that's kind of why, like, you didn't see any more buildings popping up. in the last couple parts. It was more because I was trying to get my, creativeness back and, get more inspiration. And it was more just because I wasn't really in the mood for it at the time, And it's not that I don't like Minecraft anymore. I definitely still do, because I love making videos. Let's see, 1, 2. Do the same thing over here. Boop, 1, 2. And I think we're good, so I need to actually come over here and make sure. And then this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, man, we are running really close on, space here, but I think we're perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I think we're actually just about perfect. Now, one of the things we're going to have to look at is, are we going to have enough space to add like a small little road like right next to the highway here? I think we will, and then what we might do is, it's just going to be like a road that connects these two roads here on the sides of the park together, and then we can kind of like put trees in between and stuff like that, which I think that'll make it look pretty good. So basically, here's what our park is going to look like. Now again, this isn't the entire shape, it's just some of it, but you kind of get the gist. Let's see, we're gonna need to clear some space. What do I want to use for? I want to use like a darker color, but I want to use something that we haven't really used before, So I'm kind of feeling like nether brick would look pretty good, but I feel like that would clash a little bit too much with the brick. Oh man, it's always fun to try to come up with. We might use gravel. Gravel might be a pretty good block to use for this. Alright, let's do this. So, we need to figure out everything. Should I save this real quick? I just might. And save. Alright, perfect. So just in case I do mess up, I have what we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. We'll go 6 on both sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And basically this entire path here, from here on, is going to be gravel. And then on the outsides here, we're going to be having a little bit more of a color combination. Kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. It's going to be more like a pattern. I said, I don't really know how to describe it, but I think we'll get the gist like once you actually see it. And some of this park will not be completed like in all this episode, because that will actually take quite a bit of time to get this all done. So some of the like more monotonous stuff will be taken care of off camera. For example, just like some of the, digging out some of the grass and adding new material and stuff like that might be done off camera. Some trees might be added off camera as well, just smaller stuff like that. And And another reason why I didn't really add the park for a while was because I didn't want to do a park like I did in Newfield, which Newfield, it had a very unique park that you would usually never see anywhere else. And the best way I can kind of describe it and relating it to this one, looking on it now, is they're basically the exact same to an extent. But the only difference was the one in Newfield had 3 circles, kind of like this, but the 2 on the ends were lower than the one in the middle. It was kind of like raised up off the ground a little bit, which it was very unique and it looked very modern, and it had some unique aspects to it, but it was just, what's the best word to use for it? I mean, it was very unique, but it wasn't exactly realistic. This one I'm going to try to go for a little bit more realism here. I can put buildings around it. This does take quite a bit of space, as we can tell, but I'm quite okay with it. So what do we want to do next? So I don't want to clear out all this. That will take a long time. I think what we're going to do is, because I don't want to just have gravel right next to the brick, I kind of want to separate them a little bit. So what we might do is take a darker color out, like, I think the light gray wool would actually look pretty good for this. So what we're going to do is kind of just make a outline of everything, just like this. Doop, 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 doop. And basically we're just going to put our light gray wool in here. And what this will do, this will add some different contrast, and it'll make things look a little bit better, especially from a above ground view, like a bird's eye view. So I think this will make it look a little bit better. Now if you are making a city and you want to make a park like this, it's not very tricky, it's just a lot of monotonous stuff. Parks do take quite a bit of time when you're doing it by hand on PC. Sorry guys, I have an itch. my eye. On PC, it's a little bit easier because you have world edit, things like that, to where if you do want to take, if you do want to use somebody else's idea, you can, but you can do it a lot easier. But with console, since we don't have world edit or anything like that, it's a little bit harder to do some of those things, which I'm okay with. I feel more accomplished when I do something without world edit, just because it's like, I took the time to do it, you know? It's not just I started it and then I went, okay, I'm just gonna use world edit to, you know, project this up farther and make it as tall as I want. Because don't get me wrong, world edit is really cool, but at the same time, you don't get that cool feeling of, you know what, I did it myself, I didn't use anything for cheating, and I didn't do anything like that. And I can understand both sides. I mean, world edit does make things so much easier. For example, roads. I love using world edit for roads when I do go over to the PC, which I cannot wait until the mod comes out for us to take our maps off Xbox One Minecraft and get them onto PC. Just because some of the roads are a lot easier just to, you know, kind of perfect a little bit more on PC using world edit because things are a little bit easier. But usually, like, what I do is when I do use world edit, like for example on Xbox 360, on Newfield, I did use world edit a couple times, but it was only for the roads and the highways. It wasn't for any of the buildings. And that's something I've always kind of stressed, like when I do use world edit, and I tell people I do, but I do stress, like, look, all the buildings have been made on camera, or not on camera, but, you know, by hand on console. And then some of the roads might be made off camera on world edit, you know? And I take the pride of building the buildings myself, but then making the roads using world edit, because roads are just roads, but buildings take a little bit more time, and you can't just use world edit all the time, because then you're going to get the same pattern, and it can get kind of boring, you know? I mean, I don't know, it's just my opinion. I think world edit, it's still really cool, and it does make things a lot easier for making your city or your map grow a lot faster and larger. But the question is, like, do you get that extra detail? Because you do have more time to use that time you could have saved, and you could make more detail put into it. But I mean, I don't know, it's just one of those things that I take pride in building stuff myself, and I just feel more accomplished that way. And hopefully this will look good. I really hope it does. The park is something I've always kind of stressed over, because every city needs like that central park, you know, because it's somewhere for people to go relax. I mean, obviously there's no people in the city, even though it's a very expanding city. I'm like Dubai at this rate. Like, even though I'm expanding so much, there's no citizens. It's like, alright people, you guys could really come move in. It's kind of like those city games like SimCity. I need to build a residential area for people to live first, and then they'll come in. So right now, I would technically be losing money if this was an actual city, because I don't have any jobs, I don't have any people to fill the jobs. And one of the things I want to do with this city, which I always plan on doing with Newfield, is I want to add a lot more cars to make it feel like the city is actually alive, you know? It's not just a dead city, which I feel like if I add a whole bunch of cars, I add traffic jams, police cars pulling people over, stuff like that. When you come into the world, it feels more authentic. It feels like it's a living city, even though none of the things are moving. You can kind of feel like it's actually real. And I don't know, I want to do that, but making that many cars does take quite a long time, because we're talking not about just like hundreds of cars, we're talking about almost thousands by the time the city is done, whether they're in parking garages, whether they're on the roads. So it's just one of those things that it's not a huge thing, and it's not one of those things that you have to do, but it's just like one of those small aesthetic things that can really make your city feel more alive. And a lot of people have been joining my world a little bit more, which, like, right now my world is on open. I know a lot of people have been joining in and leaving. Some people get upset that they don't get to build, but it's usually I leave my world on open. So like when I am recording a video, you know, you guys can be in it, which there actually is going to be some more news in a future video coming out. It actually might have come out yesterday at the time of this recording. And we're almost done with this, and I think we're going to get a bird's eye view after this is done to see how it looks. I think we're going to add a fountain in the middle as well in all three. We're gonna add some trees, and maybe what we might even do is add fountains on the smaller circles, like in the middle, but then in the middle we'll add like a big tree. Because then it could kind of, that's actually a great idea, because then what we can do is kind of like when it gets around to Christmas time, you know how in New York City, I'm not sure if you guys overseas know about it, but I believe New York City has this huge tree that they put up every year. Like, it's huge. I feel like I could kind of do the same thing here. So I actually might like that idea quite a bit. And how's that look, guys? Let's fly up and get a extremely bird's eye view right above it. Whee! So here's how big our park's gonna be. As you can tell, it's gonna be pretty big. How much time are we running at right now? 16 minutes. We can get a little bit more done. So what kind of fountain do we want to add, though? That's gonna be one question we're going to resolve. So what we might do is, like we said, add fountains on the sides. We'll use maybe quartz to kind of make it feel a little bit better. Maybe even snow? No, we're going to use quartz because we're going to be using stairs. And I want everything to flow kind of smoothly. So what we're going to do is, we need quartz stairs. Let's get rid of the stone. I was going to use that, but I changed my mind. And slabs just in case. So how do I want to set this up? So here's the beginning of the 4 on both sides. So this would be like a perfect square. Nope, that's actually... Here we go. How come this doesn't seem right? This should be... Oh, this is one too long, that's why. Okay, so that would be our center. Now this is going to be the one problem with this. I just have to grow it a little bit. We'll go 2 on both sides. Actually, let's make it a little bit bigger. We're going to make it a little bit bigger. I'm making a lot of weird noises right now because I'm thinking about how do I want this to work. The process of my thinking goes in depth. Not really, but sometimes it does. 2, 2. That actually works out perfectly. So, perfect. We're looking good so far. And let's get rid of this in the middle now that we can. Alright, so this would be one fountain here. So as we can tell, the fountain's pretty big. It would be the same thing on both sides. Like we said, the one in the middle will be a little bit bigger. Just because we have more space to work with. So we want to fill up more space. We might get rid of the grass in here, replace it with something else. Maybe gold blocks or diamond blocks. I feel like diamond blocks or cyan wool, like something along those colors would actually make it look pretty good from a bird's eye view again. And also when you're up close, you can kind of tell like, hey, they actually took the time to get rid of the grass. And Alright, so we got rid of all of that. Now what do we want to use? Here's where my thing just really kills me. We're going to use... Let's use both. TNT, we're going to use. And where are the blocks I want to use? I lost them. Where'd they go? Cyan and stained. Blue. Okay. So what we're going to do is maybe just do this. Kind of add like a small little pattern here. As you can tell, when I'm focused, I make a lot of weird noises that might be annoying to you guys in the video, but it's just like my thinking tones, I guess, if you want to call them that. Bump bump. Almost done with this, guys. Hopefully this isn't too boring for you guys. Hopefully this is actually quite entertaining. Seeing like my thought process and, you know, how I look at things and how things start off from nothing to a completed, you know, a completed piece of architecture, I guess might be the best way to put that. I couldn't think of any other words to use for it, but, you know, good enough. And boop. Alright, so I think once it's filled with water, this will look a little bit better. But for now, I think it's fine. So, what we might do is take out... So we have our... Where is it? Where's our quartz go? Oh, I have it in my inventory. So what we need to do is we'll stack up here. Make this one like a little bit taller one. Or we could make a bigger fountain. So if this want to be perfectly in the center, it'd be like this. So we'd have to do something like along these lines. Maybe add stairs here on both sides. Maybe? I have to see how that looks in the end. I'm actually really bad with fountains, so this might look horrible, this might look good. We'll have to wait and find out. Because I am absolutely horrible when it comes to fountains. And so this will look unique, I think, once we put the water down. Let's see how it looks so far. And then I think we're good. So we need water. Let's see how this looks. Like I said, hopefully this won't look too bad. Might raise this up by 2. And let's see. I don't know, I don't think it's too bad. I mean, it's unique. And one of the things I want to do is add like some smaller fountains around it. So like what we would do is fully fill this up with water. So it's not flowing water, it's still. And come on, just need to fill all this up. Are we good? Do we have any just plain... So I'm trying to replicate that on the other side will be a pain in the ass, but... Oh, pardon my language, guys. I didn't realize what I was saying. Alright, what we do is... Or does it actually sacrifice some of the water? So we'll have... one there. Oh, Hello Fly 317 has joined. I have one here. Basically, these are just going to be smaller ones going all the way around the main attraction here. And okay. Doop. Perfect. How does that look? I don't know, it looks too crowded, you know? There's too much going on. So maybe just get rid of the smaller ones in the middle. So this actually might be harder than we think. Well, maybe. We just have to put water back down. Okay. Get rid of that one. Okay, come on. Just need all this to stop real quick. Okay, so here's actually what we might do. We might keep some of the smaller ones. But since these are actually a little bit different and... like... So we might be able to put the one here, right? But then we can't put the one here because it's right next to the water. So basically the other one would go right here. So this actually might be where it works the best. And one thing I've always wondered, guys, I could really use your guys' help. I've seen people make it to where they have just like a strand of water coming straight down. And I have no idea how they do it. To where like, basically the best way I can put it, it's kind of like a solid pillar, you know? It doesn't come off to the sides on all 4 sides like this. But it's just a straight solid pillar coming down. And I have no idea how to do it. And I really want to know how to, because it looks awesome. It still looks a little bit too crowded. So we're going to get rid of these smaller pillars here. So let's get rid of these. Boop. And there they go. And there we go. I think that looks good. I mean, it's still not too crowded. I think it takes up enough of the space that we need it to. So I'm okay with it. Alright, now we might call it quits for this part, guys. So thank you very much for watching, guys. It is greatly appreciated, as always. I'm going to finish up some of this for next part, and then maybe in the next couple parts we can try to finish up the park. But we'll see. We'll just see how things go. So bye-bye, guys. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to all you guys later.